Have you ever dreamed of something so deeply that you could already see yourself succeeding, but the results took much longer than you expected? Have you ever worked hard at something, only to feel frustrated because nothing seemed to happen fast enough? In a world where everyone wants quick success, patience can feel impossible. But sometimes, the greatest victories belong not to the fastest people, but to the ones who refuse to give up. Sophia was 13 years old and loved music more than anything in the world. Ever since she was little, she had admired her mother, who was once a famous violin player in their town. People still spoke about the beautiful concerts her mother had performed years ago. Every evening, Sophia would stand in front of the mirror with her tiny violin, imagining a crowd clapping for her. She dreamed of standing on a giant stage one day while people admired her talent. "I want to become famous just like you, Mom," Sophia would often say proudly. Her mother would smile gently and answer the same thing every time. "Then you must learn patience, Sophia. Great music is not created in a day. It takes practice, and practice takes time." Sophia hated hearing that word. Time. She wanted success immediately. Whenever her mother gave her violin exercises, Sophia rushed through them carelessly. She did her homework quickly just to get it over with. She played every composition only once before putting the violin away. "I already know it," she would say confidently. Sometimes her mother would stop her. "Play it again, slowly this time." Sophia would roll her eyes. "I can already play it fast," her mother sighed quietly. She loved her daughter deeply, but she didn't know how to teach her that speed was not the same as mastery. Weeks passed. One afternoon, the school announced a huge music competition. Every student who played an instrument could participate. At the end of the concert, the audience would vote for the best performer. The winner would receive a golden trophy and a scholarship to a famous music academy. The entire school buzzed with excitement. Students practiced during lunch breaks, after school, and even on weekends. The piano players repeated the same melodies again and again. Guitarists trained their fingers until they hurt. Violin players carefully perfected every note. Sophia immediately signed up. "This competition is mine," she said confidently. Her mother looked at her carefully. "Sophia, talent alone is not enough." Laughed. "This is a different generation. People today love fast players. Nobody cares about slow practice anymore." Her mother gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "The world may move fast, Sophia, but true success still grows slowly. You must trust the process." Sophia didn't listen. Every day she practiced only briefly. She played her piece quickly, full of confidence, but ignored the mistakes she made along the way. Meanwhile, the other students practiced for hours. Finally, the night of the concert arrived. The school auditorium was packed with parents, teachers, and students. Bright lights shined across the stage. Excitement filled the air. Sophia sat backstage, holding her violin with a proud smile. "I'm going to win," she whispered to herself. One by one, students walked onto the stage. The audience applauded warmly as beautiful music filled the room. Then Sophia's name was called. She walked confidently toward the center of the stage. The spotlight blinded her eyes for a moment. She lifted her violin proudly and began to play. But almost immediately, something went wrong. Her fingers slipped. One note sounded sharp. Another sounded flat. Her bow trembled. She tried to continue faster, hoping nobody would notice. But the faster she played, the worse it became. The beautiful composition turned into chaos. A painful silence spread through the auditorium. Sophia's heart pounded wildly. For the first time in her life, she realized she wasn't prepared. Her eyes filled with tears. Suddenly, unable to continue, she lowered her violin and ran off the stage before finishing the song. Backstage, she could hear the next students performing beautifully. Their music sounded calm, clean, and full of emotion, not because they were naturally better, but because they had practiced patiently. Sophia sat alone in the hallway crying. That night at home, she walked slowly toward her mother. "I failed," she whispered through tears. "I thought being fast was enough." Her mother hugged her tightly. "Dear," she said softly, "a tree does not grow strong overnight. Music, success, dreams, they all need patience. The slow process is what makes something beautiful." Cried quietly against her mother's shoulder, and that night something inside her changed. The next morning, Sophia picked up her violin again. But this time was different. She no longer rushed. She played every note slowly and carefully. When she made mistakes, she repeated the difficult parts again and again until they sounded right. Some days were frustrating, some days she wanted to quit. But she remembered the embarrassment she felt on stage, and she remembered her mother's words. So she continued. Hours became days, days became months. Slowly, her music changed. Her violin no longer sounded rushed and careless. It became warm, powerful, and beautiful. For the first time, Sophia understood that patience was not weakness, patience was power. A year later, the school announced the next music competition. Sophia smiled quietly when she saw the poster. "I'm signing up again," she told her mother. This time, there was no arrogance in her voice, only determination. When the night of the concert arrived, nobody expected much from her. Most students still remembered her terrible performance from the year before. But Sophia walked onto the stage calmly. She closed her eyes and began to play. The auditorium became completely silent. Every note was beautiful, every movement was graceful. Her violin sang with emotion so deep that some people in the audience began to cry. Her mother watched from the crowd with shining eyes and a proud smile. When Sophia finished, the room exploded with applause. People stood to their feet cheering. The same girl who once ran away from the stage now stood tall beneath the bright lights. A few minutes later, the winner was announced. First place goes to Sophia Carter. The audience clapped loudly as Sophia stepped onto the podium to receive her golden trophy. Holding the prize in her hands, she looked toward her mother in the crowd. Their eyes met. And suddenly, Sophia remembered the words she once ignored: trust the slow process. This time, she finally understood. Moral of the story: success is not built in moments of speed, excitement, or impatience. True greatness is created slowly, through discipline, practice, failure, and persistence. The people who achieve their dreams are not always the most talented. Often, they are simply the ones patient enough to continue when results do not appear immediately. Never underestimate the power of patience. Small progress repeated every day can one day create something extraordinary.